and the committee, we have agreed to the proposed outcome, but with an addition. I'm now going to pass it over to the solicitor, and he will talk you through it and explain it to you probably much better than I can. So James, over to you.
No pressure there. Thank you, Chair. Yes, as the Chair indicated, the council believe it's appropriate, proportionate, reasonable for the proposed outcome as put forth in the document submitted by the premises licence holder and supported by the police. So there'll be a suspension of premises licence for 3 months, and during the duration of that suspension, alcohol will be removed from the shop floor, and the licensing unit and police must be advised when the suspension commences. The committee will reduce the opening hours on the premises license to match the hours it is permitted to sell alcohol. The current DPS will be removed, and the conditions, paragraphs 6, 7, 8 and 9 of the proposed outcome document will also be added to the premises license, and the justification for this is for the upholding the licensing objective of prevention of crime and disorder.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, James. Mr. Elford, you've heard all that. You're happy with that?
I am. I just want to check that I've understood the mechanism of the suspension correctly. We were suggesting that we fix a time and date today for the suspension to start.
Yes.
And obviously we need to give it a little lead in time because Mr. Zada has got to get all of the alcohol out from behind the counter and off the shelves. Are you saying instead that you would like us to let you know when we say the suspension starts, or do you want to fix a date today?
Thank you very much. Could I just ask Martin and PC Tracy, could I ask what your thoughts are on this? I have to say, I did think Mr. Elford did suggest that we fix a date. So PC Tracy, Martin, can you help with this?
We can fix a date now, Chair, if that's relevant. I mean, obviously, normally they would have a 3-week appeal period, but if he's willing to forego that 3-week appeal period, then we can fix it now, obviously giving him a few days to clear his stock from the shop floor. Or you can leave that to us to discuss between us, myself, Sandy and Sandy Tracy and Mr. Elford. We can discuss that post this hearing.
Thank you very much. Mr. Elford, yes, that sounds very...
Can I just say one thing there, please?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Could we respectfully request that they're given an amount of time that's fair and proportionate to clear it? I suggest maybe a day or two. When we went into the shop today, there were 4 members of staff present. So I don't think it would actually take too long to clear the alcohol because it's only a small section of the shop that alcohol's on display.
Thank you. So we need a date. We need a date. Right, Mr. Elford, it is now the 2nd of February. A week, is that too long? Martin, what do you think? A week, is that too long, or is that being fair to them?
I think if Mr. Elford and his client are willing, given that they're giving their right away to the 3-week appeal period, that a week is, if it could be shorter than that, would be good. It depends on.
Could I suggest then that we do it till Saturday, which is the 6th, and that's will give them enough time, and then they won't miss out on the weekend's business.
Mr. Elford, are you happy to forego the suspension period, when you can apply to have this to go towards the magistrates? Are you happy to forego that and set a date now?
Yes, we are. We think it's sensible to set a date. I was going to suggest the suspension started on Monday, 9 a.m. Monday.
Yeah.
next week.
Yes, which is the 8th.
The suspension would run, yes, and the suspension would run for 3 months, which would be, I'm just having a look at my calendar, 8th of March.
May.
End of April.
What? March.
End of
In May,
April.
wouldn't it? February, March, April.
Beginning of May.
Yes,
Yeah, to end on the 7th of May.
yes, exactly. Mr. Elford, you're happy with that?
Is that 3 months? I think
It has to be. We've got all of February.
so. 7 days from the 8th. So 7, 14, 21.
I think that's probably something that you need to go over outside this meeting.
It depends upon your interpretation of 3 months. Are you talking about 3 calendar months or
12 weeks.
12 weeks or what?
I was doing 12 weeks because it would bring us then to the 30th of April.
Mr. Elford, what is it going to be the best way for as far as your client's concerned and you're concerned? We've said 3 months, which is a little vague, admittedly, but is that the sort of thing you can talk to PC, Tracy and Martin about if we just fix the start date?
It is. I'm actually going to have to go and look up whether the maximum suspension of 3 months is 12 weeks or 3 calendar months, because I have to confess off the top of my head, I don't know.
But let's see if, sorry to interrupt you. Let's see if James knows. James?
I think it's silent on it. I think it just says 3 months and doesn't really assist any further, and nor does the section 182 guidance helpfully enough.
Well, sorry, James, carry on.
Yeah, so I'm not really that helpful there, because neither the legislation nor the guidance is particularly helpful. I'm sure there's some case law about it, but without some time to look into that. As I say, though, for your purposes today, Chair, if a start date can be agreed upon, again, that's an issue for Mr. Zada, the police and licensing to come to some sort of agreement, I would imagine.
Totally agree. That's just what I was saying. Mr. Elford, if we make the start date Monday the 8th, then it's up to you, your client, Martin and PC Tracy to get together and decide which is the correct legal way of doing 3 months. Are you happy with that?
That's absolutely fine.
Can I just say one thing there, Mr. Elford? In my experience, I've had 2 jobs before where a license has been suspended, and it's been 3 calendar months.
I would.
Now I'll stand corrected if that's wrong, but my understanding of it should be 3 calendar months.
Yes. Well, again, I'm happy, if the rest of the committee are happy. Phil, did you want to say something?
I was just going to say, in my mind, 3 months is 3 calendar months, simple as. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. But well, Mr. Elford, if you can talk to PC Tracy and Martin, the suspension starts on the 8th of February, which is next Monday, which should give your client plenty of time to clear the alcohol. And between you can decide on the final day. And we'll think it's probably 3 calendar months. Mr. Elford, are you happy with that?
That's absolutely fine. It's not a great deal of time either way, but we'll look into it and I'll come up with the answer.
Thank you. Martin, are you happy with all of that?
I'm happy, given February is a short month anyway.
I thought of that. PC Tracy, are you happy? You're on mute.
Sorry, PC Brian's just fallen over in the office. I'm just trying not to laugh. It's absolutely fine with me. Thank you.
Thank you. James, are you happy? We've done everything legally we should have done.
Yes, Chair. Just to say that a written copy of this decision will follow as soon as I can type it out, really, tomorrow, probably. And that'll come through the licensing unit in the next few days.
Thank you. Sally, you happy? Phil, you're happy?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah.
Thank you. All I'd like to say in addition is thank you very much to PC Tracy to Sandy for everything she's done to work with the defendant to get to the position we're in this evening. I think it's very commendable. I'd just like to thank you very much.
Thank you, but it wasn't just me. Mr. Elford had a part to play in it as well.
Yes, I was going to come on to him and to say.
Yeah, but thank you. I really appreciate you saying that, Chair. Thank you.
Well, that's all right. And Mr. Elford, I think you've worked jolly well for your client, and I think we've reached a good decision this evening. So as long as you're all happy.
Thank you very much, councillors.
Thank you. So Maisie and Tracy, I think we're just about ready to finish this, aren't we?